Okay, so just to put some context here, in case you guys aren't aware of Adrian, he is a French player. He got flown out to Rise and Grind for placing the highest at I can't recall, at Terra, correct?
Yeah, it was at Terra.
He was the highest placing player that they could actually fly out, like logistically. So he pulled up. He usually mains PT. But I see that he's pulling out Fox against Z3, and I think that's very, very smart because especially against a seasoned young Link like Z3, you don't want to go PT.
Right.
Not a very favorable matchup. So I do like the pick for Fox here.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it personally.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian probably has the intel that that Z3 plays against Tinny all the time, so he's like, let me not put myself in.
I wonder how he got that intel, bro.
Was it Aloe? SMH.
our betrayal. Yeah, man.
But in all seriousness, I do think this is a good pick here. You have the speed to kind of match the rate of fire that you're going to be seeing from Young Link, so this will be cool. Plus, you get like that explosiveness in terms of just like being able to take off the stock at low percentage.
Yeah,
but
hard punish game as well. It's really, really important against Young Link.
Yep. But at the same time, like Z3 is #1 in the city. I think #7 in the state, something like that. Something like that. For a reason, right? Like she ain't worried about no matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think she's been one of the most impressive Young Links that I've watched in terms of matchup confidence. Even whenever you're going in a matchup where, like, on paper it's not that good for Young Link.
Right.
She just has this, like, stonewall mentality that she would just stick to her game and play it out, and it works out in her favor pretty often. So we'll see how it goes.
You can't shake her off of it, which I think is.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if I was talking to Aloe or if I was talking to Waltz or if I was talking to somebody else literally over the weekend, like while we're at Rise and Grind, just thinking about like how she would have done there. But on top of that, talking about how there's a lot of really good Young Links. Like you got Skittles, you got so many of them, right? But
none of them quite hit like Selena.
Yeah, and I personally think, you know, you could decide who you think is the best out of them.
Sure.
I personally think, though, the play style that she plays with is the best play style.
The most correct play style for it.
Because you can do all these things and get really cute. But
you can have the sauce.
But when you put someone in bullet hell and then they run up on you and then they realize they still have no lag.
Yeah.
That's when you put someone on notice and they're like, wait a minute. And you get scared. I swear to God,
Absolutely.
you get scared. Because it's in the same way that people talk about Steve, the way that Selena plays Young Link, it makes you question your opening when you finally get it there.
It's very reminiscent of Steve, and at least like why people are frustrated with that sort of character archetype because, yeah, she's got phases to this defensive wall playstyle where it's almost like a boss battle. She'll keep you out as much as possible with a flowchart and a pattern that works pretty often, and then as soon as you get up in her face, it's phase 2, and you haven't seen this phase of Young Link before.
Yeah.
And, I mean, so far, doing pretty well against a good Fox like this. I mean, if you can hold your own and then some with a whole stock lead, it's looking good.
But let's see. Oh, I was about to say, I know the temptation there is to go for that because, again, you got Young Link at 90+. They could die at any moment, but this is where Selena eats because she's like, oh, I know you want to kill me. I'm going to keep tacking on some more damage. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, and as every boomerang, arrow, or bomb that hits you just gets that much more frustrating. But even then, Selena's not scared to get in your face. That's the thing that she goes for very often. She loves just throwing out that down air where you know someone's either going to jump in that space or they're going to drop their shield from the pressure. And it'll either poke or just catch you.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are moves that can beat it. Like, I'll be preaching that all the time, like, here in Austin.
You mean snake up tilt?
No, snake up air. But anyways. But the thing is, it still happens so fast, and it's still a fantastic move. So it's like, if you haven't already read that option coming down and have your move ready, then
you kind of have to know Selena.
You have to know because you don't want to get caught in the mid-between, like the in-between, because you could get hit, and then all of a sudden you're at a disadvantage. Or you just have to just wait, right?
Yeah, you kind of have to respect it quite a bit.
So unless you're like Mega Man, you're going to up air or maybe be on the side of her back air.
One of those displacing moves where it just gets Young Link out of there,
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like you have to, 1, understand the character, and then 2, know that it's coming, right?
Yeah, which is understanding Z3's habits in that sort of situation.
Right.
So, yeah, I think we're going to go to the tried and true. Maybe he's just going to want to try this out, man. Try this out in terms of a
sing
comfort.
That song. Was that Vitamin C? Na, 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 na.
Is that?
No, basically it's like it's over. It's over for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know. I messed that.
So you're saying that this is it for Adrian?
Oh, it's a wrap, bro. She plays against Tinny all the time. I'm just saying.
So I did hear someone at Rising, I can't remember. Oh, it was Fredo that was playing against Adrian, and he was like, "Oh, I play against Tenny all the time, and we go pretty even." And you know, Tenny's trying to get up in my face, so I'm used to that type of PT. But he was like, "I went up against Adrian, and Adrian was camping me out."
Hey, bro.
So
That's
who
fine.
knows if this might work against Selena with that
but
sort
let
of
me ask
playstyle.
you this though: you're playing PT against a youngling,
Yeah.
and your goal is to camp her out? Excuse me?
Hey, look, don't knock it till you try it, and
Hey,
we'll
bro.
see if Adrian can try
Hey,
it.
I'm knocking it already. It's like you can't do that. Your whole goal is to get up in youngling's face and then keep them in disadvantage. Squirtle could do that pretty well, but you can't be camping.
Yeah.
You can't be camping.
So the name of the game that I heard from Fredo was a lot of hydro pump. So we'll see if that ends up being the case here. He's already done it quite a bit, but yeah,
Nah.
I love that.
Nah.
I love that though, man. The back air one confirms into the forward smash. She's been preaching about that on Twitter too.
Really?
She's been posting her own little Young Link buffs every week. Not that it's necessarily buffing the character. She's just putting some insight on some of these habits that you can go for, some of these options that you can go for that people don't usually think of with Young Link, and that was one of them.
Gotcha.
I think that was day one's thing.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Hey man, why do bad things happen against people? I'm sorry.
Adrian's a very great person.
Hey. But yeah, this is what I expected to happen. Like, especially now knowing that Adrian likes to play this very campy, that's fine. But again, if you don't have some sort of approach strategy, once you then get her at disadvantage, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, you really want to try to find ways to mob Youngling, because if not, like, are you gonna outcamp them?
Yeah,
No.
how
And
long
like,
is
I
that
know
really
that
gonna
it's
work?
scary when you get up on them, because they still like a lot of, like, you know, technically lagless moves, or in actuality lagless moves, but to like sit back and camp, that's not the move. It really isn't.
And even for Adrian, I mean, if you're not going to, if the name of the game isn't necessarily camping, at least you want to take a step back to just kind of analyze the situation. And that's what you can see him trying to do that now, but it's a really, really tough puzzle to solve when Selena's play style and just the flow chart that she goes for.
Right. And I think
Nice. Good edge guard can get us started.
No.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Oh, okay.
We're
No
good.
jump.
No jump there, so solid first stock. But yeah, you're already gone, man.
Yeah.
We're going to get that stock lead back.
I am worried that it's too little too late, right?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think Adrian realized, he's like, okay, I need to actually go in here.
Yeah.
But you got to do that from the jump. You know?
Right.
You could take your time approaching, but you can't.
Once
like,
you're
build
in, you
your-
got to be relentless
Yeah,
for
you gotta
sure.
you gotta keep going.
Yeah, and I almost think that the character pick may have been just kind of in reverse order. Like, maybe give the first game a try with the PT,
Yeah,
see where you
absolutely.
can, like, get the knowledge check on the player, and then switch to the more favorable matchup.
Right.
Adrian was trying to solve the problem of, like, fighting against Z3 and Young Link at the same time with Fox, so, you know.
Because what you want to do is you go in with your character, right, like your main, regardless of how much matchup experience they have.
Correct.
And then you gauge their skill level there, right? And if you like come to the conclusion that you're like, okay, maybe I just don't have it with this character, or they have too much matchup knowledge, then you switch the character.
Right.
But I think that Adrian unfortunately put himself in a pretty bad situation by starting with Fox.
Yeah.
I get it. Fox can do it, but again, it's like you got to lead with your best.
Yep, tough spot to be in right there, and that frame trap that, or at least, yeah, I guess technically a frame trap because of the swap that Selena put him in. Definitely going to seal that up. That was a swift 2-0
Swift
from
2-0.
Z3.
And you know what? Losers bracket is now a
Oh my
bloodbath,
God,
because now we got
it's
J Smash
terrifying, man.
and Adrian in losers.
Yeah.